Hey y'all, Love Dawn here. Thank you for checking out Meals for Moms. So today we're going to do a brown sugar and mustard roasted chicken. So we're going to take a young chicken, we're going to butterfly it, which I'll show you how to do a little bit later on in the video. And we're going to marinate it in a paste versus a basic dry rub. Basically the same thing, just a little bit more clumpy. You'll see it as we go along. This is my first time making it, so it's going to be an experiment, but I'm telling you, the way I see it happening, I think it's going to be well worth it. Let's get started. All right, y'all, so we're going to start with butterflying the chicken. And all I have right now is, I think this is just like a young chicken, parchment paper cutting board. So we're going to turn it over breast side down. As you can see, I just rinsed it, so that's where the water's coming from. So we're going to turn it over breast side down, and we're going to start with our kitchen shears. We're going to get the tail of the chicken, see that? And we're going to cut along the side of the backbone. So we're going to keep doing this. You hear the bones cracking. I'm going to keep cutting up the side of the backbone. Okay. All the way to the top. You see here? Cut in half. You can see the inside of the chicken, breast, other breast side, other side of the backbone. We're going to do the same thing on the opposite side. And I'll show you how it looks in a second. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm almost done cutting the full length of the opposite side of the backbone. And I'm going to show you here. This is the entire backbone of the chicken. Now you can save this and boil it with some onions and maybe the ends of the onions and your celery stalk, the ends of the celery and ends of the carrots, and you boil it all together and you can make your own chicken broth. It's really, really good when you have leftover bones because the cartilage is what gives you the good chicken stock. So that's what you would use this for. If you want to use it for soup, you can do that. But once we get the chicken this way, this is butterflied. So you turn it over, breast side up, and you kind of give it a little smash, and the chicken is now butterflied. So we're going to start the paste. Okay, so we're going to start our paste or our seasoning for our chicken with a little brown sugar. That's probably about a half a cup of brown sugar, maybe. Yeah, about a half a cup broken up. You can play it by ear. Put on how much you feel like you need. I'm starting with brown sugar, then I'm going to put some salt. Garlic. Now if you don't need all this seasoning, you can always save it and go good on anything. Put some thyme, some dry thyme. It's always good for roasted chicken. You can use fresh thyme and put it in the inside, or like when you want to, where you're putting the onions, you can put fresh thyme, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to use the dry thyme for now. I'm going to put some basil. Here's where our herbs come in. So thyme and basil. I'm going to put some paprika. I'm using actually Spanish style paprika. Smoked paprika would be good with this. And this is what's going to give it its deep color. Put a little bit more paprika. Okay. I'm going to put some black pepper. Not a lot of that because I'm also going to put a little cayenne. I kind of want this to be a little heat with this dish. Put some parsley. Maybe double the amount that I did of thyme. And I'm going to put some onion powder. And lastly, onion flakes. Will last for the dry seasoning, should I say. And of course, these are dried onion flakes, but they will moisten up as the chicken cooks. So this is our spice rub. But in this, I'm going to put some dried mustard. I'll show you what that is, that I'm using anyway. Dried mustard. And a good amount of that. Mix that up. And then I'm going to put some spicy brown mustard. And it's going to, paste, make it a little bit of a paste. So don't be shocked. I'm not going to put a whole lot. Add more if you feel like you need more. But it's just going to thicken it up a little bit. Because remember, when you spread this around the chicken, the chicken is still a little wet. You can towel dry it if you would like. But it's still a little wet. So it's not unlikely that your dry rub here is going to start forming like this anyway. And all you do is just take it and rub it all around the chicken, which I will show you that in a few minutes. The rub here, you see how it's clumping up? That's normal because we just added the mustard. Just take the back of your spoon, kind of push it down. Something similar to if you're making a cheesecake and you had to do the butter and the graham crackers. Very similar to that. And I'm going to finish doing this. I'll show you what it looks like right before I get ready to rub it onto the chicken. Be right back. Okay, so we have our paste here. Crumbly, as you can see, but still nice and breakable and smoothable. Our chicken butterfly. So what we're going to do, I've already patted it down a little dry as it's going to get. So we're going to start by loosening the skin some, because we want to get some of this rub right directly on the meat. So you see how my fingers is underneath of the skin here? Wherever that you can do that, that's what we're going to try to do. Go up under the neck and try to get your fingers in between the skin and the meat so we can get it patted down in there. And we're going to just start by taking some of the rub and putting it all over the chicken. And it may not stick the way you want it to right off the bat. Just keep rubbing it, getting it all through there. And again, we're going to put some of these nice clumps under the skin. See here, right up under the skin. We're going to marinate it right directly on the skin. Nice clumps here, right up under the skin. And we're going to keep on until we get all this all over the chicken, and give it some time, because again, you're dealing with wet skin on the outside of the chicken, so you might have to do some rubbing to get it all through, all broken down in there. And I'm gonna show you how it looks in a few seconds. I'll be right back. All right, so we have our chicken all with our paste and marinated on. As you can see, the more you rub the chicken, the more the brown sugar breaks down. Doesn't look very appetizing now, of course, because it's a paste and it's a marinade. But it has to cook, and when this brown sugar cooks down, it's going to disperse all throughout the chicken. It's beautifully spread it out on each part. So whenever each part melts down, it's going to melt down throughout the rest. So I just want to show you the pan with our onions and bay leaf already in it, and all we're going to do is lift up our chicken and sit it right on the top, right on the top of the onions. And so we're going to have the steam from the onions and the bay leaf that's going to cook up in the chicken. And if you have any more of the paste left, just pat it right on it, pat it right down on the chicken so we can continue to cook down and go into the onions as well. All of this is goodness. You don't want to lose none of that goodness. So all you're doing is patting it right on it. And then I'm going to put this, actually I'm going to let this sit and marinate for about another 15-20 minutes. The longer you let it sit, I mean, you can let it sit overnight if you want to. That's even better. But I'm going to let it sit for about 30 minutes or so. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. And I'll be right back. Okay, so we have taken our chicken out of the oven. And it is nice and caramelized all over. The brown sugar did not melt down the way I hoped that it would, but the flavors are still infused throughout the chicken, because if you remember, we had some of the marinade underneath the skin as well as on top of the skin. our onions have the flavor from the chicken broth now, as well as the seasonings that we use. So we're gonna let this sit and rest for about 5 or 10 minutes so that the juices can redisperse. You never want to cut meat while it's hot. But what I'm going to do is squeeze a little bit of lemon juice on top of the chicken, and then I'm going to plate it. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of lemon juice all over the chicken. Give it some freshness. Oh, that looks so good. And let it sit for a little while. And again, as I said, let it breathe for a minute. We'll let it rest for a minute and allow the juices to redisperse. And we're going to cut it up and plate it, and we'll see how it looks. Okay, y'all, so the chicken has rest for a few minutes, and all I did was I just opened up the leg and let the skin loose from the side of the breast here and separated the leg and thigh. And I took a knife and went straight down the breastbone of the chicken, so I have it in 4. So I'm just going to put the breast, I'm going to plate that, okay, and then we're going to put the other half and put it right beside it. All right, now you can cut this up how you would like. Right now I'm just going to plate it. I'll just put the drumstick and thigh right up on the sides. Actually, I'm going to put it almost exactly how it's set in the pan. Okay. There we go. Same way. And I'm going to take some of these onions. Put some of the onions like right here in the middle of the chicken. And you can put it throughout if you would like. I'm just going to kind of pile them right here in the middle. And the juice, if you want to put some thickener, remember we talked about that in some of the prior videos, some cornstarch and water, or some flour and water, or you can just use it as a roux, which is just the juice alone. You can do that. Put a little bit of green. This is just some green onion, just for presentation purposes. Nothing spectacular. And we're just gonna kind of put it all around. And there you have it. You have brown sugar and mustard roasted chicken. Bon appetit. Thanks for checking in.